like, and sub. Greetings and hello there, everybody. It's me, your LOTR Dad. I'm here with another quick video about Lord of the Rings: Heroes of Middle-earth, releasing globally on May 10th, with the ability, if you are in a soft launch area, you can actually start playing on April 26th or 27th, I believe, just depending on where you're sitting, what the date is. They're doing a reset of the soft launch, so you can actually start playing the game early. I'm hoping to actually start the game on that 26th or 27th here on the channel, so tune in with me on day one of Lord of the Rings: Heroes of Middle-earth. And today I wanted to take a minute. Let's just take a few minutes. I wanted to review all the characters in the game. I'm not going into depth on the characters. I just want to talk about the characters that are going to be in the game for you when you open the game up. Who are the characters you can farm? Maybe there'll be a few more by the time we get there to launch, but these are the ones that are in the game right now. There's 51 different Lord of the Rings or Tolkien characters. I think it's more, you can call it more Tolkien characters in the game, because there are definitely characters in here, you know, from the Silmarillion, from other places, many sources. They're going to use any Tolkien sources they can find to get characters. Let's go ahead and just take a look at all of them. We'll start at the top. Let's kind of go through this list here. We'll start with the Dunland, or the Dunland. I don't know much about this. I'm displaying some ignorance right now. I'm sure some of you can help me out in the comments with the Dunland. There's a couple of factions here I don't know much about, but the Dunlanding Marauder, Warrior, and Chief. What's that? Those are pretty generic. You're going to see a lot, you know, you get generic characters in games like this, and those are some generic characters. Let's talk about our dwarves. The dwarves in the game right now are Killy and Filly and Gimli. Those are the ones you might know the most of. Killy and Filly, of course, the twins from The Hobbit, of course, the movies, and the book. The much shorter book, and then the movies. Gimli, everybody knows Gimli. And the Iron Hills Guardian. I believe this is a female dwarf, but I don't know. I can't really tell. And is it really important? No. Okay, then moving on from our dwarves. Wrong button. Let's take a look at our elves. Of course, D. E comes after D, so we're D dwarves to E elves. Elrohir, a Rivendell duelist. So here's some generic ones: Rivendell duelist, woodland naturalist, and woodland sentry. Some generic elves in there. Elrohir, I think he was the guy in The Hobbit. Somebody tell me. I don't remember who Elrohir is. I, of course, know who Elrond is. Elrond, the Lord of Rivendell. There's your boy. He brings in a wave of water. So Elrond is in the game to start with at the beginning of the game. After we get through our elves, let's go back to all of these filters are weird up here. The Fellowship. Now, this is interesting to me. This is one of the more interesting factions. There's a Fellowship faction. We, of course, know that there are 9 characters in the Fellowship: Gimli, Legolas, Boromir, Aragorn. Oh boy, how many hobbits? There's four hobbits and Gandalf, right? That's your 9. Well, we've only got 1 to start the game with, and that's Gimli, Fellowship Gimli. So it's an indication to me of a few things. We have 8 more characters coming that are going to be Fellowship characters, right? We're going to get all these characters. We'll have multiple iterations. I know these. If I know these games, we're definitely going to see multiple iterations of each character. Let me find, I'm going to get this example right here. We'll go to Road to Rivendell. This is your example right here. The Road to Rivendell has Strider. He's not called Aragorn. He's called Strider. Now, when the soft launch first came out, he was called Aragorn Strider. They've changed it just to Strider. Excuse me there. Having a little drainage issue, so sorry. I am Dad. What do you want? So Strider is in the game. Of course, we're going to see Fellowship Aragorn, and of course we'll see King Aragorn, and maybe another Aragorn or 2 in between, right? And here's Frodo Baggins, Pippin Took, Merry, and Sam. I would imagine, since these are not seen in the Fellowship version, we're going to get a Fellowship version of Frodo and Pippin and Merry and Sam, but I don't know that, but that makes sense. I could even see some journeys that might take us toward, like, Fellowship Aragorn, and then eventually to Fellowship Gandalf. You know, Gandalf, of course. If I had to guess at this game, and we'll see as we go along, but where am I here? I went through the, where was I at the top? I gotta go back to all. I'm not really excited about these mechanics of having to click on and off and back and forth, there and back again. But yeah, you get it. So the Fellowship is lacking. You get the idea. There are journeys coming. What my guess is that one of the first journeys will be Gandalf the Grey, getting him in the game, and then leading to like Fellowship Aragorn would be a journey after that. Eventually you get Gandalf the White. So these are the journeys we'll be taking in the game. Where you gotta get your characters, level them up, etc., etc. If you played these games before, Raid, Marvel Strike Force, Stars Galaxy Heroes, that's what I play, of course. You'll be familiar with that game mechanic. Okay, here's goblins. The Great Goblin, of course, we're very familiar with. The Goblin Chef, Batmaster, Quickshot, and Thrasher. These are generic goblin characters that they've made up. At the beginning of the soft launch, this was the meta team. I don't think it is that anymore. But yeah, you get the goblins in there in the game. And again, they're just generic goblins for now, except for the Great Goblin himself. Gondor. So we've got the Gondor Archer, Gondor Sergeant, very generic. No Boromir in the game at the moment. No Faramir. They haven't made the game yet. So the Haradrim, again, guys, it's another faction. I don't know who these guys are. The Haradrim Veteran, Lancer, and Champion. I'm sure that my pal, Nooch Cosmo, who is a giant Tolkien reader and absorber of content, he knows everything. He's read everything. Would probably know who the Haradrim are. I can't speak to it. The Hobbits, of course, in the game are the same ones we already saw a minute ago. These are the Road to Rivendell hobbits, not the Fellowship hobbits at the moment. Why is it going default? I just want to look at stuff here. Okay, what do we get? That's your hobbits. Humans, I'm not going to click on the humans. Go over all the other factions, so we'll see them event. Isengard, they're taking the hobbits to Isengard, where the orcs are, where the Uruk-hai are. Here's Ugluk. I can't speak orc. What do you want from me? Ugluk, Mauhur. Now here's some generic. Isengard Captain, Uruk-hai Warmaker, Uruk-hai Woundbinder, what was his name down? Lurtz, of course, is not in the game. Lurtz is the main Uruk-hai that kills Boromir, fights Aragorn. That's gonna be a big journey in the game. There's no way they don't make a big journey out of that, where you got to go get a bunch of characters and play a special event to get Lurtz activated. Then there's the dumb white orc from Hobbit. Don't get me started. I'm not interested in that at all, but I'm sure at some point I'll have to unlock him. Misty Mountain. What do we got there? We've got our goblins, of course, in Misty Mountain, and we've got some of these more. I don't know. Are we calling these orcs? Are we calling these trolls? Bolg is in here. Bolg is a orc. Misty is an orc, of course. Misty Mountain. I thought he was an orc. So Bolg is in there. Bolg's bodyguard. Somebody tell me who Bolg is. I didn't look up before we started. Moria troll handler and a troll stonebreaker. Kind of generic trolls. You know, we got the trolls in the Hobbit. So yes, there's some trolls that are there in the what was that again? That was the Misty Mountain, right? Misty Mountain. Mordor. We've got the Olog-hai, Iron-hai, giant character in the game. I mean, literally a giant character. So you have these extra large characters. Look down here. Shadow Troll, Mordor, Tank Spear, large. You can only fit one large character into a party. You can't get more. You can't like make a whole team of large characters. So that's kind of a cool little mechanic of making these large characters. And again, just kind of mostly these guys are generic. Taskmaster, Slasher, Mordor, Engineer. Shagrat is not generic. He is actually, I think he was the guy in the tower when, and somebody tell me who Shagrat is. I think he was the guy in the tower when Frodo got done with Shelob and went in there, and all the orcs were in there, the Mordor orcs. The Nazgul, we've already got 3 of them. Of course, there are 9 kings, right? The Blade of the East, the Ravenous Gloom, the Southrun Shadow. Please let me know in chat all the other Nazgul that are coming. The Nazgul King, or the Witch King, right? Those would be ones that would be on their way in the game at a later date. After the Nazgul, we'll take a look. I keep scrolling down here. We already looked at some. Let's go and look at our orcs. Did we miss any orcs? No. We've already seen all of these orcs. Uruk-hai Woundbinder. Did we see the Uruk-hai Woundbinder? Is he not an Isengard fella? He is Isengard, so we did see him, and I just forgot about him because he's generic. Generic orc. We're fine. We've seen all the orcs. Let's pop off of them. I don't understand why it sometimes goes to the... This menu's a little funky. The menu's a little funky. Just be ready. Ranger. Okay, for Rangers, we got, of course, Strider. He's the most famous Ranger of all. Halbarad, who's a big healer. Adunadad Swiftblade, who, of course, generic. She goes with Halbarad. And Elro here, an elf and a Ranger. So happy. Who else? We're just going right through this, baby. Just right through it. Ringbearer. That's Frodo. I don't think there's any other ring bearers. I guess you could have Sam as a ring bearer at some point. Gollum. You want to have a fun journey that'll be in this game eventually. Gollum will be somebody that you'll have to get a bunch of characters to unlock. That will be fun. I'll look forward to that. I'll look forward. We did Road to Rivendell. I didn't mean to click on that. Rivendell, that's going to be a bunch of elves. Yeah, we've already seen the elves that we may have already covered. We may have gotten through every character in the game at this point. Let's keep going a little bit here. We got Rivendell, Orc, Ranger, Ringbearer, Rivendell, Road to Rivendell. Oh, Rohan, we missed the Rohirrim here. I just clicked it again. Lady Eowyn. Now, she's one of the most important characters in the game, from what I'm told. At the beginning, with her leadership ability, then we get a generic herbalist and a generic Hearthguard. Then Eothane and Eomer. Eomer? I don't know. Eomer. What's his name? I can't remember his name. But you get the Riders of Rohan in here. Of course, eventually you'll get the King of Rohan, and perhaps we'll get. Oh no, what was his name? What was the Wormtongue? Yes, we'll get Worm. That'd be fun. There's just so many characters, guys, just from the movies. But when you add the books in and all the lore and everything, and the TV show and the Hobbit, and you got lots of stuff. Lots of stuff. What else do we have here? Rohan, we just did Spear Staff Support Tank Thorin's Company. Who's in Thorin's Company? Well, that's just Killy and Philly. We know those guys. I guess Thorin will be in the game too at some point. Not yet. Trolls, I think we've seen the Trolls, but let's pull them up here. Yes, it's Oleg High, Ironhide, and the Troll Stonebreaker. I think we have seen every character in the game at this point. So there you go, everybody. There is every character that's farmable in Lord of the Rings Heroes of Middle-earth right now, and probably at launch. And I would guess that there may be a character or a few characters added at launch, because that's how you do a game. You launch it, you add some characters. We'll be farming all these characters. We'll follow along on the channel. We'll be here with farming guides, with day one gameplay, with live streams. We'll be doing lots of fun things on the channel for you and me and us as a community. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Some of these guys light up, but other ones don't. That's interesting. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. I hope you have a great day. And make sure to love your family, love your friends. Do the liking and subscribing. A couple more videos up here you can watch. Have a great one. Talk to you soon. And always remember, Nooch Too Good.